Hi, so this is a video about two things. I don't want this work I put in to go to waste. So I was proactively working on a prototype of Jobjack to improve its user experience, right? So I'll speak about more about that a bit later, but I also want to speak about the interview. I thought that went fairly well, but I'm thinking and looking back now that it could have made me be perceived as someone that likes to work alone or is a bit of a loner. But I don't think that's the case, because as a designer, I'm constantly working with clients, and as a photographer, I'm also always working with clients. I work well with people. So the answers I gave might have been perceived like that way, but to me, the answers I gave of the favorite projects was more along the lines of the projects that challenged me the most and made me think outside of the box. It's the projects that made me grow the most. Yeah. So let me just get straight into the Jobjack changes quick fast. I'll also link the prototype. Obviously, it's not complete because I'm gonna stop working on it now, but hopefully you guys find this useful. So firstly, we're gonna start off with this job filters, right? So in the job filters, we have this thing that just randomly says all, and I found that to be very confusing. Like, what's the user gonna think if they just see all? And then you see permanent contract once off, that is not relating to each other at all, right? So I thought a better way to do this would be to, as you can see, have that as buttons. So a button for permanent, a button for contract, a button for part-time, button for full-time. So as you can see, whichever one you switch off, it hides those jobs away. So if you press contact, contract jobs disappear. If you press permanent, permanent jobs disappear. If you press full-time, same thing, right? Okay, so now my next issue in the job filters was job types, because that is very confusing. Like when you think job type, you could think part-time, you could think full-time, but here it's actually different job titles, very confusing. So that's why I actually changed it. I changed it to search job titles. It's a bit more logical, it's easy for the user to understand, and it works basically the same, but now you can see there clearly you can search, right? I also moved what is selected to the bottom so you can still search while seeing what's selected. You can just side scroll to choose the different selections or clear it. The next thing I went through in the job filters is the location. As you can see, this is not the best. It just says start typing there and select location. Now that could be very confusing, and it could slow the user down because now they need to type something in. So I thought, let me add the location, my location button, and that just automatically puts in your location. I also thought what would be another good idea is to put in like popular locations. So like the user can just select that because they're most likely going to be in one of those popular locations. So yeah, that's my changes in the filters. Now, the fact that Jobjack has cards, right? As you can see, each one of these are a card and you can't select them just doesn't make sense. Why is there a job details button on a card when you should just be able to select the card? And why is each logo so small? Okay, so changing the cards was also a really big deal because here we're considering Jobjack's USP, right? So when applying for entry level jobs, which is Jobjack's USP, it's not really a career move, especially when looking at these jobs. These jobs are getting your foot in the door. It is just applying, right? So you want to apply for as many as possible. That's usually what the user is going for, right? So we needed to change the job details into apply so that people can apply as quick as possible, and to as many as possible, right? The other changes I made to this was I obviously changed the logo to the right so we can make it bigger so we can actually show which company you're applying to, right? I also made the card have a feedback by zooming in a little so you can see which one you're about to click on and made the card clickable. So when I clicked this, Jacob's law really took full effect here because I was very disorientated where share and close and apply was, and the fact that I couldn't just click on the side of this card to close it. Like that's such a norm. See, I'm clicking and nothing's happening. You know, I was very confused. Like, why is this the case? Why is this stuff there? It just it felt like it hindered my speed in use. So these are obviously the changes I needed to make. So firstly, the change I made was, as you can see, I made you be able to click anywhere to be able to exit the card. See there, just anywhere, click there on the side, and boom, it's gone. Click the card again, and then you can see we have a closing button on top because that's usually where it is on a card. I also moved apply and share next to each other and kept it there on the bottom because users usually skim through in an F pattern. Okay, so those were the changes I had in mind. Honestly, I had a whole redesign in mind with lots of more ideas, because I really wanted to focus in on that USP, but I was doing this in my free time, and obviously, if I actually got the job, I would have do it full time. But maybe this makes you reconsider. Who knows? I do hope you find this helpful. I didn't go in detail, like explaining why my changes would have been better, like explaining Fitts' law, explaining Jacob's law, or Nelson's theory, or any of those things that explains why my experience would be better. I mean, if you play with it and look at it and think logically, you can definitely see why. But yeah, thank you for watching.